Hello, everyone. This is Kavita with the Enlightened Heart coming to you with Wednesday Wisdom. And today I'm going to ask you the question, are you swimming upstream? So that sentence or saying comes from Abraham Hicks. And in this, it's in when Hicks talks about swimming upstream, it's about pushing against what's happening in your life right now and knocking on doors that won't open, right? And continuing to do that despite the message and the internal voice that's telling you that this is not the way for you, okay? So now there's a balance between giving up, right, before you reach your destination, before you reach your goal, and giving up on something that is what you're meant to do and what you're called to do, versus pushing yourself upstream. And you're being given messages that this is not for you, right? So how do you discern between, am I really giving up here, or is this just not meant for me? Right? So, when we're asking that question, that's where intuitive guidance comes in, and that's where the knowing comes in. And so, in order to access your intuition, there are lots of tools that you can use to access your intuition. Last week, I shared a video on oracle cards, and actually, specifically, the deck of cards that I created. So, if you want to learn about that, you can watch last week's video. And another way to access your intuition is to quiet your mind through meditation and journaling and contemplation and asking that inner voice, that inner guidance, the higher self, right? Is this meant for me, or am I meant to do something else and go in another direction, right? And so the intuitive voice will be loving, will may give you a push to move forward, but it will never be self-deprecating. It will never be harsh and rude and put you down, right? For instance, if you ask, am I meant to go in the direction of I don't know, I ask when I'm going to work with clients, if they're going to decide to work with me, I ask them to check in with themselves to see if this is the next step for them, right? And so if they feel a little fear, that's really normal, because anytime you're going to make a change, you're going to feel a little bit of fear, right? It's just, how does that fear come up? Is it this fear that's like, stop, this is not for you, don't do this? Or is it the fear that's more like butterflies in your stomach, more of like a nervous feeling, right? And so there's a few ways to make sure that you're going in the right direction. One is you can choose to do this for a few days to make a decision. Another is, the more you practice accessing your intuition, the more accurate it will be, and the more you're able to listen to the intuitive voice, okay? The more you meditate and you're calm, the easier it is for you to get into that space of listening to your intuition. So it's this combination of a regular practice. It's a combination of trusting and taking steps. And your intuitive guidance may not always be what you want to hear. And that's the other thing, right? Sometimes my intuition tells me things that I don't want. And so I will revisit it for a couple of days, few days, maybe even put it aside, this question, and then revisit it the following week, and I get the same answer. Then I know, right? And I know that even though it's not what my ego mind wants and what my brain thinks is the best step, I know it is the right step. So if you are struggling with making decisions, with clarity, accessing your intuition, I have some resources for you. I have my podcast. If you haven't listened to, I have an episode on using your intuition. I also have the ability that we can speak and do a clarity session together. And I have an upcoming offering for you that I'm excited about. I'm going to be holding a masterclass, and you will hear more about that masterclass next week. In the meantime, use resources, follow your intuition, and trust that the best outcome will be there for you and everyone involved. Take good care. Bye.